I get phone calls from entrepreneurs every single week who tell me they have a sales problem, hiring problem, a cultural problem, a marketing problem, all the problems. And every single time, within a few minutes of listening to them describe the issue, I can always trace it back to one place: their leadership. I have invested over 20 years building companies, funding over $1 billion in home loan production, and coaching over 1,000 business professionals in my company called Go Coaching. And the single most important thing that I have learned in all of this is that every business has 4 pillars: marketing, sales, ops, and finance. And all those pillars rest on the bedrock of every business, which is leadership. The stronger the leadership, the higher the pillars. And 99% of every business's success rests on the success of leadership. So in this video, I'm going to give you a diagnostic framework that will change the way you look at every problem in your business. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it. The reason most people never fix their business is that they keep treating symptoms while the actual disease sits in the mirror. I want this to be a tool you can use for the rest of your career. Every time something goes wrong in your business, every time you feel frustrated with your team, every time a result is not where it should be, I want you to run it through this one filter before you do anything else. And that filter is one question: what did I do or fail to do that allowed this to happen? That's it. That's the question. And I promise you, if you can answer it honestly, you will find the root cause of the problem every single time. I call this the mirror framework because the answer is always looking back at you. It's never the market. It's never the economy. It's never that you just cannot find good people anymore. It's not because millennials are lazy. Those things are real, but they're just conditions. Leadership is what you do regardless of the weather. The sooner you accept that everything is your fault, the sooner you can do something about it. You have choice. And most entrepreneurs, business owners hear that and they get defensive. They think it means they're bad at what they do. It doesn't. It means that they're not powerful enough to fix it, to either skill up or delegate out. Blame is a dead end. Ownership is the doorway. So let me walk you through the 4 most common problems I see in businesses and show you how each one traces back to a leadership root cause. And I'm going to give you the fix for each one, so you're not just diagnosing, but you're solving. This is a number 1 complaint that I hear from the business owners. My team is not producing. They're not hitting their numbers. They're not working hard enough. And then the owner says it with this tone like the team is broken, like they hired defective people. Newsflash, we're all defective. So let me reframe this for you. If your team is not productive, the first question is, do they know exactly what productivity looks like? Not generally, but specifically. Can every person on your team tell you right now, without hesitation, what a successful day looks like for them? Can they tell you the 3 activities that drive the revenue in their role? Can they tell you how their work connects to the company's goals and the vision? If they cannot, it's not a productivity problem. That's a clarity problem. And clarity comes from a leadership problem. You set the targets. You define what winning looks like. You build a scoreboard that tells people whether they're ahead or behind. And if none of that exists, sometimes your team is not the problem. It's not like they're lazy. They're lost. And lost people don't produce. They wander. Most people do not have a motivation problem. They have a direction problem. When someone knows exactly what to do and exactly how doing it connects to their income and their growth, motivation kicks in. When they do not know those things, no amount of rah-rah speeches, motivational posters, and these fake core values, which are really aspirational values, are going to fix anything. The fix is super simple. Build metrics in every role in your organization. They should have 2 or 3 numbers that define the success for their week. Not annual goals, because those are abstract. Weekly metrics that are specific and visible. When your team can see their own score, they manage themselves. The A players will rise up. So you stop being the person that pushes and starts being the person who builds a system that pulls. And guess what? You stop micromanaging. I tell my team all the time, as long as you're clear on your role, you feel qualified for the role, and you want to do the role, and you know exactly how you're measured to do it, I don't care where you work, when you work, or how you work. If you get the results, you win. So clarity is the first thing. But even when people know what to do, sometimes they still don't do it. And that leads to the second problem I see constantly. Law school do not produce, they wander. This one frustrates business owners and used to frustrate me more than anything else because it feels personal. You have told them what to do. They've nodded. They say they understand, and then they don't do it, or they did it wrong, or they did it once and then it stopped. And you're sitting there thinking, dude, what's wrong with these people? There are only two reasons someone who knows what to do doesn't do it. They were never trained how to actually do it. There's no accountability system that makes doing it matter. Let me break this down even more. See, training is not telling. Most business owners think they train someone because they explain something once. Explaining is not training. Training is showing, practicing, giving feedback, competency before you let someone loose. So, for example, if your salesperson cannot handle objections, it's not because they're bad at sales necessarily. It's because nobody probably ran reps with them until the response was automatic. Most sales team never even role play, which is wild to me. If you want them to speak sales fluently, they need to practice that language. Or say, for example, your operations people keep making the same mistake. It's not because they don't care, it's because the process was never documented in a way they could follow without guessing. On my teams, we mandate weekly training, and it's time blocked in my calendar the color purple, because purple is the color of royalty. And we treat training like the crown jewel of the calendar. Nobody touches it, nobody moves it, nobody books over it. Remember this saying, train and you shall receive. You don't get people in vending machines. They need your knowledge transfer. Yes, it's time consuming, but behind training is time multiplying. The second piece, after you train them, is accountability. I don't mean punishment. Accountability means there is a consistent system where performance is measured, reviewed, addressed, not once a year at a performance review that everybody dreads, but at minimum, weekly. 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute max check-in where the numbers are on the table, conversations direct. Hey, what went well last week? Did you hit your metrics? And what's your focus for this week? Simple. Do not overcomplicate it. The cadence is what separates high-performing teams from teams that fall apart. Motivation without training is discouragement. And training without accountability is disappointment. So the fix here has two real parts. First, build real training, not a handout and a handshake or a PDF and a pep talk. Recorded walkthroughs, role-playing, shadowing people, and competency checks before someone is expected to perform independently. Second is implement a weekly relationship rhythm. Every team member knows their numbers, reports on them weekly, celebrates their gains, and gets direct conversation from you about the gaps. Keep it short, keep it consistent, never skip it. The moment you skip training and accountability for 1 week, you have told your team that it's optional. And that's where a lot of people fall apart. So you have clarity now how important training and accountability are. But there's a third problem that kills teams and companies even when those first two are dialed in. And it's the one that is the hardest to see from the inside. And this is the one where most business owners and team leaders and entrepreneurs refuse to look in the mirror because it means the issue is not a system you can fix on a spreadsheet. It's something about how you're leading. People leave leaders before they leave companies. That is not a motivational quote. Promise you. That is observational data. When someone great on your team resigns, the stated reason is almost never the real reason. They say it's a better opportunity. They say it's all about location, flexibility, money, which sure can be the case, but usually it happens due to poor leadership. See, A players won't work for B and C leaders. And alongside B and C players, you have to be an A leader. You have to also give A players other A players to run with. So it could be that you do not give feedback until you're frustrated. So every conversation about performance feels like an attack. It could be that you play favorites and everyone knows it. It could be that you say you value transparency when you make decisions behind closed doors and announce them as final. It could be that you have never once asked a team member about their career goals or personal goals and what they need from you to accomplish those things. If you understand what people value personally and professionally, they'll help you win professionally. John Maxwell writes about the law of solid ground. Trust is the foundation of leadership, but you build trust through competence, connection, character. When any of those three things are missing, people start looking for the exit doors. And the painful truth is that most leaders think they have all three when they are really actually missing all of them, maybe one or two of them. The fix starts with a question you probably have never asked your team directly. What is one thing I could do differently that will make your experience better? Ask it in a one-to-one setting. Ask it with genuine curiosity, and then actually do something with that answer. You will learn more from that one question than from any engagement survey. And the act of asking it and acting on it starts rebuilding trust immediately. See, on all my teams, we have a one-sheeter that's called the what I really, really want from my career. Every person answers questions on that form like, what's the top 3 things I love about my position? What's the top 3 things I don't love about my position? What are the 3 things that I need to be better at my position? I want to remove all their roadblocks and give them rocket fuel. I also ask them, what is their top 3 career goals? Feedback well taken is what paves the road to success. So beyond that, build a culture, a real culture of feedback. Don't wait until things are broken to have honest conversations. Listen to the whispers. There'll be screams later. Weekly one-on-ones with every direct report where you ask, what's going well? What's hard? What do you need from me? This is not soft leadership. This is the infrastructure that prevents your best people from quietly updating their resume. So we've covered clarity, training, accountability, trust, and trust through feedback. But there's one more problem underneath all of that, and it is the one that determines whether any of the fixes I just gave you actually stick. You're doing the same things that used to work, and for some reason, they're not working anymore. Your revenue is flat, your energy is flat, growth is flat, team feels flat, and you cannot figure out why. The reason nothing works anymore is that you probably stopped growing as a leader, but your business doesn't stop growing in complexity. Every level up requires you to give up a version of you. The hard and soft skills that got you to your first million, for example, are not the same hard and soft skills that will get you to 5 million. The way you manage the team of 3 does not work for a team of 15. The instincts that served you as a solopreneur work against you as a bigger CEO. I know this firsthand, going from $1 million a year to $5 million a year to $15 million a year in my business. John Maxwell calls this the law of the lid, and it's one of the most important concepts in leadership. Your leadership ability is the ceiling on your organization's effectiveness. When the business outgrows the leader, the business stalls. And the leader usually blames the market, the economy, their team, but the constraint is really them. Your business is always a reflection of you. If the business is chaotic, it's because you're probably chaotic. If the business lacks direction, it's because you probably lack direction. If the business has communication problems, you probably don't communicate well. The business never lies. It reflects. It's like your child. It learns all your habits. So the fix is committing to growing as a leader at the same pace your business is growing in complexity. That means reading. That means coaching. That means being in the right rooms with the right people who are further ahead of you. That means being honest about what you do not know instead of pretending you have all the answers. The best leaders I know, the ones running 8-figure and 9-figure businesses while still succeeding at home, are the most aggressive learners I have ever met. And they're not studying because they have extra time. They're studying because they understand the moment they stop growing, their business stops growing. And that is the thread that ties everything together. Every problem in your business is a leadership problem. And every leadership problem has the same root. The leader stops growing. So let me pull all this together for you. If you made it this far, kudos to you. Here's a diagnostic framework. Start with the mirror question every time. What did I do or fail to do that allowed this to happen? If your team is not productive, it's a clarity problem. Have their job description in writing and then define what winning looks and feels like every single week quantifiably. If your team knows what to do but does not do it, it is a training and accountability problem. Build real training with reps and verification. Make it part of who you are. Then implement a weekly rhythm that never gets skipped. If you keep losing good people, it's definitely a trust or a culture problem. So ask your team what you could do differently. It takes hard work to get feedback. Build one-on-ones into your weekly cadence. And if nothing seems to work anymore, it's a growth problem. You stopped growing as a leader, but the business did not stop growing in complexity. Invest in yourself like you're doing now watching this video. Invest in yourself at the same pace as your company is growing. The reason this framework works is that it puts the power back in your hands. It's freeing. When you blame everything else out of your control, the market, the economy, whatever, you're powerless. You're waiting for external conditions to change. But when you look in the mirror, you get your power back because you can change you. That does not mean every problem is an easy one to fix. Some of these are painful. Admitting that your team is lost because you never gave them a clear target is very humbling. Admitting that people left because of how you led is harder. Admitting that you stopped growing while the business kept getting more complex is the hardest of all. But guess what? People love honesty and vulnerability. That's the starting line. And everything I built, every dollar I've generated, every person I've coached started with that same moment. Is me looking in the mirror and saying, this is all on me. And the solution is on me too. So if this changed about how you think around business, yourself, drop me a comment below. Tell me which one of the 4 is the one that you've been blaming on everyone else, but maybe not yourself. I read every single comment. And if you're a entrepreneur, business owner, team leader who's ready to stop diagnosing and start building, check out what we're doing. The link is in the description. We work with people who are done making excuses and ready to make money moves. I'll see you in the next video.